Hey y'all, I hope everybody's having a good week. It's been good so far here, and thought I would throw together a little supper. But first of all, welcome to my cooking show. Welcome to my cooking show. Yeah. So I'm making something tonight that we have probably all made a million times in different ways. And I'm gonna mix it up a little bit tonight too. I have ground up and browned a pound of hamburger meat. I'm going to put some mushrooms in there. I am going to put some onion in there. I'm going to put some roasted red peppers in there. And 5 fresh cloves of garlic. Yes, you heard that correct. 5. So, gonna just like let all that love on each other for a few minutes. Kind of start getting a little soft. Get those onions to start getting clear. And we're gonna mix this up and do some different stuff with it. One of the reasons I'm doing this tonight is you can take this base of this recipe and use it in a million different ways. I'm going to put some manwich sauce in mine. Yes, sloppy joe sauce. I'm going to put some of that in mine. And I'm going to add some corn. And we're going to kind of give it a little Latin flavor. What would that be? I don't think it'd be Latin. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to kind of give it some flavor up in there. Let everything all get warmed up. And go from there. I'm going to end up baking this. And of course add some cheese to it and all that kind of stuff. You know, my mom and dad were school teachers. We didn't have a lot of money. Anybody that knows what school teachers make, y'all know we didn't have a lot of money. I mean, we were okay, and my mom and daddy never let me do without anything. But, you know, we were not rich by any stretch of imagination. And my mama was really good at finding ways to make different things all out of the same stuff. And when I was putting all this together today, I thought, well, I could do a meatloaf, or I could do a spaghetti or a pasta or something like that. But I'm going to mix it up a little bit in a different way. I'm going to have some sloppy joe sauce in this. But first I'm going to put some, just some frozen corn. Just frozen sweet corn I'll put in here. Yes, I know that was really attractive, wasn't it? Very professional looking. Some frozen corn. Put that in there. And let that kind of start getting all mixed up in there as well. That's going to warm up. And I thought about putting some black beans in here, but I decided against it. I decided just to go with the corn. And see, now you can see there's plenty of color in there now. And I'm going to let that cook down a little bit. Get the corn unfrozen. Get it all mixed in there a little bit together. And then I'm going to add my manwich sauce. Sloppy joe sauce. What do y'all call it? Manwiches or sloppy joes? I don't know. We didn't eat a lot of sloppy joes growing up now. But I do like them. I've always liked them. But we didn't eat them a lot. But now getting back to, you know, my mama, she could have took this hamburger meat and made a million different things with it. And everything that I've got in here, make a million different things with it. And so that's kind of what I'm doing, is just kind of mixing everything up. Gonna let it all see how it simmers down together. And I'm gonna let all this cook down. I'm gonna pour my sloppy joe mix in here. Let that start warming up. What I want is, I want this whole thing to kind of cook down and thicken. I want it to kind of get thick, because our next step going to be good. Y'all, I'll be right back in a few minutes. Hang in there. Okay, I'm back. Now, what I have done is I'm going to use some crescent rolls, okay? But I'm going to keep them whole. I browned all this up. This is ground beef, corn, onion, mushrooms, roasted red peppers, and manwich sauce, sloppy joe sauce. So I browned all this up. I've just let it sit and get kind of thick because I want it thick. All right, I've taken my crescent rolls and I'm going to do 2 together. So I'm going to kind of take a little scoop of this and I'm just going to put it in here like so. And I'm going to fold these over. So fill that up. Cheese. It wouldn't be no good if it didn't have cheese on it, you know? So put some cheese on there. And then, I've never done this, by the way. This is all new, so we're going to see how this works. I'm afraid it's going to bust open just like that did. All right, take that. I'm going to kind of, you know, you do your little thing with the fork and all that kind of stuff that is probably not going to hold it, but we'll see if it does. And I guess these could be called like hand pies, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to do all these before I put them in the oven. I'm going to do a little egg wash on them so they'll get some pretty color. And I'm going to cook these for about 15 to 17 minutes, I think is what you're supposed to cook these on, these crescent rolls on, and we'll see how they go. And the nice thing about it is I'm going to have like plenty of this left over that I can use for like other stuff all week. So I got like 5 meals here. Pretty cool, huh? All right, I'll be back in a few minutes. Hold on. Y'all, I'm just gonna be honest with you. You tell me that don't look good. Look at that. So I left it, I put these in the oven at 375, and I think I did it at 12 minutes, okay? Y'all, my daddy would say, if my daddy ever saw something he really thought looked good, he'd say, that's pretty enough to flop a lip over. You know what? That right there, that's pretty enough to flop a lip over. It looks really good. I'm gonna add me a little sour cream on the side. And then I'm gonna put some salsa on there as well. And I've let it cool just a little bit because I know it's hot. A little salsa on there. Y'all, look at that. Y'all tell me that don't look good. Sweet baby Jesus, that's pretty. All right, here we go. I'm gonna break into it. All right, so the crescent roll is perfectly cooked. None of the stuff didn't leak out or anything. Let me tell you what. That right there, that's a home run. Absolutely, that's a home run. Yeah. And the nice thing about it is, I only used like a quarter of that hamburger mix. I've got that to eat on all week long. This right here though, this is good. I've never done it with the crescent rolls before. The butter in those crescent rolls, yeah, that's good. So listen, I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna pig out on these. I really am only gonna eat 2 of them, those 2 right there. But I'm gonna pig out on those. Y'all have a great week. I hope y'all have a wonderful week. Have a great weekend. Father's Day, tell your fathers hello, you love them. Y'all please do me a favor. And I tell people this all the time. Tell your daddy you love him. Make sure your daddy knows you love him. My daddy and I, we never, when I was growing up, we never did all that stuff. When I went to college, one day I called home. My mom and daddy sat in chairs right next to each other, and both of them had their own telephone. This was when you had corded telephones and all that. So I called home one day, and my mama always answered the phone. Well, she didn't answer the phone, it was my daddy. And I thought, Lord, what am I going to talk to about him? because me and my mama, we would talk and everything. My daddy would get on, he'd ask us 2 or 3 questions, and then he'd get off, and me and mom would finish talking. Well, daddy was the only one at the house. So it was me and daddy stuck on the telephone together. And that day, when we hung up the phone, my daddy said to me, "I love you, bud." And we never, ever, from that moment on, left each other or hung up the phone with each other without telling each other we loved each other. And I can honestly tell you, the last words I said to my daddy when he died was, "I love you." And I know in his own way he said it back to me. So y'all, please, Sunday's Father's Day. I wish I could have one more Father's Day with my daddy, but I can't. But y'all that can, bury the hatchet, do whatever you need to do, but go love on your daddy, okay? I'm going to finish eating this up. You'll have a great week. Tell your mamas and your daddies and your brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles. Tell all of them hello. And y'all try this. I'm telling you what, this right here, that's a home run. I love y'all so much. Have a good week. Bye.